Episode is episode 1334. We've done this a little bit longer than that. You know, we did about 200 episodes before relaunching around COVID time in a full-time capacity. But we've been here for quite some time. October 23rd of 2017 was the day that this entire thing was launched. So we're going on 9 years. And next year will obviously be 10. Been at this for a decade, on and off. And I can probably count on one hand starting off a show simply by stating to LSU fans, thank you. We don't do it enough. We should do it every single day. But as a lot of you have seen over the last probably 48 hours, women and children are being attacked on social media. It's not a real place. It's just not a real place. Social media is not a real place. My experience that I will share with you is a very simple one. Is that people were never going to say this to your face. They say that they will, they won't. They will not. What I am thankful for is that we've built a community, a damn strong community, that when these types of things happen, when Ole Miss troll fans in general, whatever, go after women and children. You know, it's one thing to talk about, hey, player X isn't playing well. Hey, player X is playing very well. It's another thing to do some of the things that happen that are vile on social media. But it's not a real place. And what I am humbled by is the simple nature that the community that we've built, a lot of you will come to the defense of that. Will come to the defense of people you don't know. You know me, I guess, or you know the caricature of, but I'm pretty much the same damn person right now that I am. And ask anybody. I'm the same person here every single night that I am out there on them people's streets. So what is humbling is that the community that is built from October 23rd, 2017 until January 22nd of 2026, the year of our Lord, you've seen this place at its heights. You've seen it at its lowest. You've seen it in its growth. You've seen it in its decline. But there are things that don't need to happen. Going after women and children is one of them. So if they want to do it, let them. What bothers me is more of my wife and children, because, guys, look at what they're doing to me. Oh, you used to be fat. No shit. You still are. No shit. No shit. I can do something about my weight. You can't do a lot about you being a piece of shit human. You can't. So I've never understood this troll community. Like, I will show you. I have 4 Twitter accounts. Blakeruffino, Ruffino and Joe, ayssports, aysSEC. Those are the 4 that I have. And that's a lot. I see some in LSU media sphere who actually get suspended, who come on the attack too and don't try to build relationships. They build enemies. It's not a real place. I thank you for coming to the defense of my children. My wife is my wife. She understands it. She sees it. She knows it. She's been here through it all. She's seen DMs. She's seen messages. She's an adult. She gets it. My children. Like that is a place where you just don't go. You don't go. They're sick. One's 6 and one's 3. You don't go there. I am humbled, and I thank you all for the defense. You know, like, guys, we're in content. I am in content. I am in marketing. You're going to see parts of my life. That is the point. To go after women and children is disgusting, and I expect nothing less from a fan base who, quite honestly, is the scum of the earth. Like, legitimately scum of the earth. If you do that, you're scum of the earth. without a doubt. So with their hoity-toity, my daddy works at Goldman Sachs, from a fan base that dresses up in blazers and khakis and button-downs to games. Are you kidding me? Then to a fan base during baseball that throws beer in the air. What are we doing? Oh, y'all say suck that tiger dick, bitch. Okay. But we don't act better than anybody because we're not better than anybody. It's a joke. It's a joke. You know, I had disdain for Ole Miss. I've had disdain. Like, I don't like Bama. I'm an LSU fan. I don't like Florida. I'm an LSU fan. I really don't like Texas A&M. I'm an LSU fan. Right now, I have pure hatred in my heart for Ole Miss. Like, I don't like Notre Dame. I didn't have hatred really for them. I didn't hate them. I have pure, unadulterated hate. Now, the good book says you're not supposed to hate anybody. Then I'm living in sin because I hate them. I hate everything about them. September 19th, 2026 cannot come here fast enough. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's get moving here. Everyone do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Is Jordan Seatin going down in the next 24 to 48 hours? Maybe. He's going to have to make a decision soon. We'll give an update on that. We'll go on a little bit of a rant here. We'll come out of the break. Jacques Doucette sat down with Verge Ausberry. I want to talk about that because I think it's really key on some of the big points that he said there. We'll get to that tonight. I know that I tagged Jock in all of it. Me and Jock actually talked about it today on the side, and we'll talk about a couple of things there tonight as well. Coaches that are on the move. Producer Brandon is learning that you can't put shit instead of shift. But coaches on the move, coaches on the shift. We'll talk about some things that are going on. Rumors about Billy Glasscock potentially doing some things and trying to close deals. We'll get to that as well. And as we do every single night, we'll get into thoughts, questions, and concerns. Let's get to a couple super chats before we get rolling here. Ricky Pope, with a $10 super chat says, here's how Ole Miss can be relevant in football. Leave the SEC and go play in the Conference USA or American Conference. Well, they'll just say that, we lost only one game inside the SEC, which they did. Not without Lane Kiffin, they didn't, though. But any hate that y'all have for him and anything that you say with him, I'm just going to agree. So I agree with you. Legendary CEO with a $20 super chat. He says, back at you, buddy. Back at you. Thank you for being a part of the show. Get Gooder with a $20 super chat says, hey Siri, play Set It Off. Hashtag Go Tigers. I really want somebody to pay the fine. No, don't play Set It Off, Siri. No. I don't know why she did that. Bad, Siri. Bad. Can't do that. I hope somebody pays the fine to play neck. Quarter one, drive one, Clemson game one. I really do. I really, really, really do. Because I think you're starting to feel something you haven't felt in a long time. I said this to a buddy of mine today. I'm starting to feel it down in my plums. If you've ever seen the Will Ferrell movies, I'm feeling it in my plums. I'm starting to feel it too, man. I'm right there with you. Guys, I'm right there with you. I mean, you're not crazy. Are there conversations that we need to have? Like, are there conversations about realistically where you're at, where you're going on paper? Do I still want to get my eyes on this team? 1,000%. I still want to get my eyes on this team, and I have the right to change opinions. I don't know if I will, though. I don't know if I will. But I'm starting to feel it down in my plums. Gorilla Killer with a $5 super chat says, is it safe for my kids to watch tonight? Or are there some no hairline Scooby-Doo head asses in here to get Blake worked up? I can't promise you either way. I will try to keep the cursing down to a minimum now that I know the kids are in here. I probably should just do that anyway. Probably should just do that anyway. Tonight's an okay night. We're not going to go that. Lynn with a $10 super chat says, I've been a fan of the show since right before BK was hired. Love the show. Keep up the great work. 318-31 great. Yes, where is everybody listening to us from tonight? And Lynn, I greatly appreciate that. Yes, this has been a fun ride, and we will and shall continue. But yes, it's been a very, very fun ride, and coming up on 9 years this October. So very, very, very fun. It's been a very, very fun run. So thank you for being a part of it, and glad you're here with us. Get Gooder says, Ole Miss better not touch my drum set. Exactly. 100%. Don't touch my drum set. So yeah, don't touch my drum set. Feeling it down in my plums. Yeah, that's a great quote. I'm a Will Ferrell fan, man. I really am. C Murder with a $5 super chat says, Blake, I need that long sleeve shirt. Where can we buy? It's a great, great, great question. Nowhere right now. However, there is a strong likelihood Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we're finalizing some deals that we have with the hats. We are doing these hats very right. You're going to see them. So our launched, we were trying to launch on January the 15th. I made the personal decision that we needed to hold off. There were some things that we did that I did not like, and I thought we could be better at, so we postponed. We have brought on multiple members of the team, Brandon, Jack, Elena, and Lee. Elena and Lee are over that part of AYS. We are finalizing some things. You're going to see the hats. The hats, these hats kind of like this are going to be on there. We got some camo option stuff. It is going to be absolutely electric. What I do ask you for, so these shirts are going to be on there. Just different shirts are going to be on there. Just different. I think Rudy Crew shirts are going to be out there. We got a lot of selections for men and women. Selections for men and women. Ho stuff is going to be out there. Lee and Elena have done an unreal job at setting all this up. So this is just a little bit of a preference on what some of this is going to look like. Some of them have like the Just Different logo on the back and stuff. So they're doing all of that. So we're really looking forward to it. We're trying to launch it about 2 weeks ago. We had to set some things up. I wanted to look a certain way. They're doing an elite job. So I think that, we've done merch in the past. It hasn't gone over really well. But they have done the best job since we've been doing all of this. By far, have done the best overall job in this. So it's coming soon. We're finalizing the hat stuff. If you see me on this show wearing a different hat, you know that it's coming. Pause. But you know that it's coming, and we got some merch, and we got some LSU-centric stuff as well. So I'm really, really excited that. But, yes, long sleeve shirt is really nice. I'm really looking forward to it. Lee and Elena have done an elite job. We have some Mardi Gras stuff I think that they're working on. It's going to be really good stuff. Elena does a fantastic job. She's done the best in all of this. I'm not just saying it because she's part of the team now. She's a lead at her job. So as we continue to grow here, as AYS continues to grow, we got Brandon, we got Jack, we got Elena, we got Lee. We're growing. I'm here. So it's all because of you guys. Really and truthfully, it's all because of you guys. So I'm really, really excited about that. So it's going to be very, very, very fun. Very, very, very fun. All right, let me get rolling here. Every AYS show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Download the FD Sportsbook app today. You still got NFL playoffs. You got NBA. You got college basketball. You can all place those bets if you'd like with our good friends over at FanDuel. All I ask, please bet responsibly. Please. We talk to our good friends over at FanDuel all the time. Please bet responsibly. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, when you're placing bets, go to FanDuel.com/RG for more details. I set my preferences. I know what I don't want to spend in a month. Just go over there and place your bets over at FanDuel. It's a really, really fun time, and you got the NFL playoffs that are here as well. But we're powered and partnered with our good friends over at FanDuel, and we greatly appreciate them being a part of what we're doing. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, we got to talk about Verge Ausberry. We got to talk about Verge's conversation with Jock. Is this Seaton thing coming to an end? A lot of things that are out there that were a little bit inaccurate today, but we'll talk about it. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick.
We're back.
All right, let's get rolling here. So yesterday or 2 days ago, I can't remember, I just saw the interview this morning. Jacques Doucet, our good friend over at WAFB, met and sat down with Verge Ausberry. And today I was getting ready for the show, doing prep for the show, and I was sitting there listening to Jacques' interview. And I thought, you know, outside of right now, don't go listen to the interview right now. You need to sit here and stay listening to us. Because I love Jacques, but Jacques' interview can wait. You need to stay here and listen to AYS. But Jacques Doucet did sit down with new athletics director Verge Ausberry. And listen, I posted a lot of stuff today on social media about our conversation or my thoughts in the beginning of Verge Ausberry. I was really nervous. I thought that he was just a plug-in guy. I was really nervous about this Jeff Landry thing, and then Wade Roos, and then how Wade Roos announced Verge. God bless it. Hold on. How Wade Roos announced Verge Ausberry as the new athletic director. It made me really nervous in some of the things and how he went about it. But Verge has done nothing, and I was wrong in that. I had no reason to be nervous. I should have known better. That is on me. Because Verge Ausberry has done nothing but be elite since he's taken this job. And the conversation that we had and have had since Verge has taken the job, before Verge kind of went out there publicly and has stated anything, and he stated it with Jacques, was that this is what I'm being told. What I have been being told by not just football-related activities, what I have been told from a baseball side of things, to some extent basketball, more of women's basketball, is that the conversation and the things that Verge Ausberry is doing is making waves. Why is that? Number one, he's going to all the events. He's going to all the games. He's very involved. He doesn't really sleep, to be honest with you. He's at late events. He's at late fundraisers. He's at business fundraisers when he doesn't have to be there and probably shouldn't be there, to be completely honest with you, but he is. And he's going the extra mile when it needs to. And I thought that the conversation and listening to Verge about what true alignment is. See, it's really difficult to have true alignment in multiple sports. It's damn near sometimes impossible. But it's very, very difficult always in a new turnover and a new administration to have quick alignment as quickly as what LSU has had. See, what I think that you're seeing from Verge and now Lane is that LSU promised Lane Kiffin that they were going to do X. And because LSU promised, Lane Kiffin that they were going to do X from a financial standpoint and bringing players in standpoint, and this being LSU standpoint. Now Lane Kiffin is hitting on all of that. And I just got to give massive props to Verge about how he's going about this, how he's taking those extra steps, telling Lane, hey, listen, we need to do this. This is the one time that he steps in reference to a business district meeting. You need to be there. There's a lot of big money. There was a photo that got posted of Lane Kiffin. 4 of the guys in the photo that he's with don't have just $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 million. Multiple of them are guys that have 20, 25, 30. One of them, if you just look on Google, his net worth is worth like $250 million. So you're getting into what these business people are doing and now aligning yourself, and Verge knows where this sausage is made. Verge understand how this business is run more than what Scott Woodward ever did. See, Scott thought the money was made in reference to paying the coach and not needing to pay the players, and you were wrong. You failed in that, and so now you're doing what needs to be done. But in the interview with Jacques Doucette, what stuck out to me is that he's not hiding what he's doing. You know, we've had the conversation, so if you've listened to what we've been talking about, hey, guys, all I'm hearing right now when it comes to Verge Ausberry, it is a knock on the head coach's door, and it started really with Jay Johnson, if I'm being blunt, because Lane wasn't here yet, right? Like, the first thing that Verge did when he gets the job, he goes up to Jay Johnson's door, knock, 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 and he's calling Jay, hey, what do you need? I need to meet with you. I'm a little busy. Can I come to you like in 2 hours? And Jay's like, yeah, like you don't have to ask. You're the AD. Well, okay, well, I'm coming. And the conversation with all of these coaches is, all right, what do you need? How much money do you need? Where have you already attacked from a financial standpoint? All right, I'm going to go somewhere else and help you out here. And all he's done is hit. All he's done is hit. You know, there's a story out there and a rumor out there about some things that Verge is doing and getting businesses that, quite frankly, stopped giving a long time ago that now are starting to give and give at a high level. That is true alignment. I'm going to let you coach. If I need to tell you what plays to call, if I need to tell you how to recruit, if I need to tell you all this, you're not the guy for LSU. That coming from an LSU guy in Verge Ausberry. So I think from that aspect, he's telling the world, he's telling you, listen, here's my job. Are there other finite details that I got to take care of? Yes. I have a team that should be doing those finite details. My job needs to be, I need to go get money to give it to my head coaches to go get the best recruits so we win natties. Bingo. B-I-N-G-O, and bingo was his name. Oh, bingo. That should give you chills down your spine because it's happening. And in football recruiting, you're watching this play out in real time. God forbid you land Jordan Seatin, so then you'll have the number one edge guy, the number one quarterback, the number one left tackle in the portal, maybe in the country, on the 3 biggest positions of need, on the 3 biggest positions that you can make and argue on the entire football field. I was nervous. I was wrong. But he's dominating in exactly what he needs to dominate in, and that's the part that makes me very excited. There are a couple of things that we need to discuss here about what Verge said as well. The money thing is the money thing. The alignment thing is what you're seeing play out. Guys, you would not be doing what you're doing in the transfer portal if you just didn't have alignment. You would see misses. You would see struggle. You would see chaos. You would see miss after miss. Guys going to other programs. You're not. So I'm glad that you're not. That's a sign of alignment. There was something that I was really interested to hear from Verge today, and I think it's the biggest thing moving forward. Verge Ausberry said that he's been in constant talks with SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey. What has he been in talks with Commissioner Sankey about? It's about not playing a P4 opponent in week 1 or in the beginning of the season. Well, Blake, we want to play the best of the best. I'm with you there. I get it as a fan. Trust me, we don't make money on this show when LSU plays Tulane or Louisiana Tech or, I love my alma mater, Southeastern. We don't make money from that week. It is a dud. Quite simply, it is a dud. With that part being said, from a business standpoint, I'd love for you to play top-tier opponents every single year, every single week. But Verge said today that he's been in constant talks with SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey about why do I have to play Clemson when the end of my schedule goes as followed. Auburn, Alabama, Texas. I got to go on the road to Tennessee and then on the road to Arkansas. That is a murderer's row. It is a murderer's row. I can make the argument right now that you have the toughest schedule in the country. With that part being said, that also needs to go into your expectations. We just look at only LSU. You can't only look at LSU when you give expectations. He's not wrong. The last 3 national champions haven't played out of conference P4 opponents when they've gone on to win a national title. They haven't. I think Greg Sankey's biggest fault is, number 1, refereeing and umpiring. Number 2 was him going to a 9-game conference schedule. The SEC this year, of the top 15 strength of schedule before the playoffs started, because strength of schedules changed once teams got into the playoff and played other teams. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the regular season, of the top 15 teams in the country, the SEC had 13 teams in the top 15 when it comes to strength of schedule. 13. You're a 16-member league. Tennessee was outside of the top 15. They were at 17. So now you're going into a conference schedule that not only do you have to play an extra game, you're also going into a situation where you got to play a P4 opponent not in the conference. Blake's running scared. It's not running scared. You're already playing the toughest schedules in the country, and now you're making it tougher. So the question becomes, now that the college football playoff is staying at 12, at least tomorrow is the ultimate deadline, and what looks like it's going to stay at 12, the question becomes, is a 9-3 team who has a top 15 strength of schedule going to get in? Vanderbilt's fault is that people said, well, they didn't play a strong enough P4 opponent. Well, they played Virginia Tech, and you dinged them on it. Indiana played Old Dominion. They played Indiana State, and I think maybe Akron. Don't quote me on the third. On their way to a national title. Ohio State didn't play a P4 opponent. Michigan didn't play a P4 opponent. Michigan, I don't really count as a national champion because I still think they cheated. And all of that being said, I fully agree with Verge Ausberry. I am in alignment with him on that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you want your goal, your ultimate goal for your team is to get into the playoff and contend for a national championship? Why in the world would I make this tougher for myself? Please tell me. Because I look at the teams in the Big Ten. Does the Big Ten have arguably the top teams at the top? Yes. But their conference from the middle down is god awful. It is god awful. Like, as an example, guys, the fifth best team was Michigan, who went into Oklahoma and got dog walked. They got dog walked versus Oklahoma, who offensively wasn't that good. So, with that being said, 13 of your 16 members, 13 of them were in the top 15. You were in there as well as an LSU team. You were in there as well. It's a murderer's row. I agree with him in reference to the beginning part of this schedule. Because, guys, here's the truth. Ole Miss is still going to have Trinidad Chambliss. Let's swallow that pill very quickly, because there's no way in hell a guy who graduated from Ole Miss, who's overseeing Trinidad Chambliss's case, is going to not let him and give him an injunction and temporary restraining order to play football for Ole Miss next season. They still have Lacey. They still have Trinidad. They're not going to be bad. A&M, who does have to return or really change a lot along their offensive line, they still have Craver. They still have Concepcion. They still have Marcel Reed. So to that point, they're not a bad team. You got Alabama on the schedule. You got Texas on the schedule. Texas might have the two most athletic wide receivers in the entire country on their team. And does Arch Manning take a step in year 2 as a starter? You don't have Florida on the schedule, but you got to go to Auburn, and that place has more voodoo in it than anybody not named LSU. Jordan Hare's got voodoo in it. And then you come to a situation where at the end of the season, you go on the road to Tennessee. You go on the road to Arkansas. You got Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, and Arkansas. That's not a joke of a schedule. Maybe you can say, well, Blake, Arkansas is going to suck. Okay, fine. Playing in Tennessee is not easy. Playing Texas this year will not be easy. Playing Alabama this year will not be easy. Playing A&M, playing Ole Miss. He's not wrong. He's simply not wrong. Mississippi State, Kentucky. Okay. Okay. You know, those teams are on the bottom of the SEC, but okay. But, I mean, Mississippi State didn't stink. Oh, boy, they were 6-6. Yeah, it's Mississippi State, and they had to completely rebuild from the outright bottom. And I think Jeff Lebby's done a good job. So I think Verge pushing for what BK and Scott did not want tells you what he really thinks. This is the guy that's been over scheduling. You mean to tell me that I want to go on this murderer's row in the SEC when the Big Ten doesn't play out of conference P4 opponent, and you want me to do it to make it tough for myself? Why would you do that? Now I say all that to say, I understand competitors want to play the best, and I'm with you. I am with you. If you want to play the best, you beat the best. I don't have a problem if LSU, so the flip side of that, if they want to play it, I don't have a problem with it. If you want to go challenge yourself, I do not have an issue with it. The point of what Verge is trying to state here is, hey, man, wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute. We had 13 of our members in the top 15, and Vandy and Texas got left out of this playoff because of some stupid loophole with a G5 team. Guys, the truth of the matter is Texas should have been in the playoff last year. Notre Dame should have been in the playoff last year. You can hate Notre Dame all you want. You can hate Texas all you want. But y'all know and I know that Notre Dame and Texas should have been in over Tulane, should have been in over James Madison. I mean, guys, the real truth of it is everybody's like, man, Tulane's doing really well. They got in the playoffs before LSU did. Okay, well, here's the thing about Tulane. LSU and Tulane both played Ole Miss. And LSU, with a flawed offense, still kept it closer than what Tulane did. They got their teeth kicked in. They got their teeth kicked in. I understand where he's coming from, man, and I think it's a big deal here. Last but not least, the big thing, and Wilson Alexander pointed this out, LSU, and we've been talking about this for a long time. Did you know LSU football netted $67 million last year? $67 million. You ain't going to do it with Verge and Lane, and I don't want you to. Guys, by the way, they have CPAs that go over their profit and loss margins. Guys, if you're showing that you netted $67 million, you profited $67 million. Do you really think it was only $67 million that they really profited from? What it feels like to me is that Scott knew that he was going to have to fire Brian Kelly and held on the money. If we want to be blunt. If you wanted to pay BK out right now, like right now, you could do it. With a stroke of a pen, you could do it. LSU football is never going to not have money. So how does it come out today that LSU showed the NCAA that they netted a net profit of $67 million, and you're going to come up in here and go, oh, we're poor. Guys, the state of Louisiana is not poor. Blake, yes, it is. No, it's not. It's mismanaged. It's been historically mismanaged. It ain't Poe. It ain't poor. It just isn't. You got Meta going up to Shreveport, investing over $1 billion. You got 3 massive oil companies donating and giving the state $5, $6, $7 billion. And you want to sit here and tell me that we're poor? Poor. We ain't poor. When over 52% of the GDP of America's oil and gas comes from the Gulf of Mexico, which streamlines inside the state of Louisiana, you want to call this place poor? I have a really good buddy of mine, grew up together, really, really, really good friend. You would not believe it if you saw this guy, how much money he makes. He's I think a geologist is technically what he is. He gets paid. Guys, he will get paid by these oil companies like $500,000 for 3 days worth of work to go into the Gulf of Mexico to find the pockets of oil and how to get around it so that everybody doesn't do the wrong thing and you don't have an oil spill. He will make $500,000. $500,000 in 7 days. That friend of mine is a massive LSU fan, by the way. $500,000. Have you ever seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street? Have y'all ever seen it? Yeah, y'all seen. Did I say Gulf of Mexico? I mean, I should say Gulf of America. That's my bad. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all ever seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street? Remember when the big guy, I forget his name. Remember the check stub scene? I did that to my buddy. If you're making $500,000 in a week, I quit everything I'm doing and coming and working for you. I'm currently in school to be a geologist. Not really. But you get what I mean. I said Gulf of Mexico, you know what I mean? Gulf of America. This state is not poor. They're just hiding it well. I see it in the chat. Whoever put it, Blake, they're just hiding it well. Kevin Winslow, you're right. They're hiding it well. But when over 52% of your GDP in this country's oil and gas comes from one place, get out of, go lick a sock. I mean, it's just not true. So a lot of those people are LSU fans. So again, you're not poor. Last thing about this before we get to Seaton. The last thing that I want to get to here is this. Guys, I've been telling you over the last couple of days, before this whole thing with Verge aired, that I've been hearing that, guys, I'm pretty confident that Lane is sleeping at that facility. Your AD the following morning comes out and says, yeah, he don't leave. He does not leave. Verge promised Lane Kiffin X when he got here. They've given him X. Lane Kiffin is now in turn going into this situation and providing Y. Meaning you promised him something, he said he would deliver on. Both of them have done it. All of them have done it. So it is what it is. I really was excited to hear, because it's not just a one sport thing. I'm excited to hear what I'm hearing from Verge Ausberry. Makes me very excited. All right, let me get to a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about this Jordan Seatin situation. You're still not done in the portal. I'm just going to tell you, there might be some stragglers out there that you're still looking at. So we'll talk about that too. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. When your business, your farm, or your equipment needs fuel, you need someone that you can trust. At Crump Fuel, they deliver quality gasoline, diesel, and lubricants with honest service and local pride across South Louisiana and South Mississippi. From construction sites, marinas, convenience stores, and trucking companies, all the way down to generators and everyday operations, Crump Fuel keeps you rolling. Crump Fuel is family-owned and family-operated. With high quality and dependable delivery, they're always going to bring that competitive pricing. Call Crump Fuel today at 985-229-4976 or visit them over at crumpfuel.com. That's 985-229-4976 or visit them at crumpfuel.com today. Crump Fuel, where they're fueling the Gulf South in the right way.
We're back.
Some of y'all need Jesus in this chat. Some of y'all need Jesus. That's all I'm going to say. Find Jesus. That's what I'm going to tell you. Some of you in the chat need to find Jesus. Where does this thing sit with Jordan Seatin? So I know that you're probably tired of this lingering on. We've talked about all of the situations as a player where things sit over the last couple of days. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. However, you have simply not given up. You're not going to. No one has. It seems, don't know this completely, it seems to me that it's going to continue to be Oregon, Miami, LSU. That's what it seems. In my gut, what my gut is telling me is that potentially there's a fourth team that has come involved in this, and they've come with a lot of money. Who that team is at the current time is yet to be determined, because I don't want to run this out there. I can't validate it at the current moment. But to me, from what I hear, that feels like that there's a fourth team. You have simply just not given up. I think that there are some rumors out there that we're going to have to get validated, that your general manager has done and is doing currently things that championship level GMs, championship level organizations, championship level people go and do. If those rumors are true, then I think that you sit in a good spot. What I would tell you is that what we discussed last night remains the same for me. Do I think Jordan Seaton's a really good player? Yep. Do I think he's the sprinkles on your Sunday? Yep. Do I think he's put you in a category where you start making some claims that maybe you shouldn't be making, but you're kind of like, damn. Yep. Have you seen a different mindset in the way that we recruit around here? Yep. This is the closest thing to Jay Johnson that you've seen. This is. Jay is relentless. And the thing about Jay is he has a lot of help with Coach Yeski. He has a lot of help with Josh Jordan and himself. You ain't seen recruiting like this in football since 2022, if I'm being completely blunt with you. Recruiting is the lifeblood that fuels the dreams of champions. But look, this one, I just kind of am like, I don't trust anything or anybody. Do I feel like from the LSU side, do I feel like, not me saying this, that they feel good and they're constantly doing what they need to do to get there and get the commitment? Without a doubt. Do I think that this is going to end within 24 to 48 hours? Yes, I do. Because quite frankly, I don't think that it can go much longer. There's been a rumor out there about the uncle/agent. Last night, we brought this up. I'm not getting involved in it. I think what everybody is seeing and understanding now is that this is how all of this is pretty much done. Like, I'll give an example. Jaden Breaker went in the portal. Then he went back to LSU. Why do you think that happened? Well, Blake, there were some guys coming in at linebacker. No. What happens here is that these agents have a lot of players that are represented by them. So what happens is that you can't really talk a whole bunch of craziness, because the guy that represents like 10 players on your team, you can't lose your marbles on him, because you don't want that to affect 10 players on your team. When it's an individualized situation, even if it's with a family member or whatever, it gets bastardized because of the simple nature that it's only one person. Guys, these agents in college football are doing this across the board with all these different players and everything going on. There's a player last year that was represented by a firm who we've dealt with, who I've dealt with, and our attorneys have dealt with, in reference to NIL deals, that quite frankly was funneling everybody they could to Colorado, funneling everybody they could to Notre Dame. They were funneling everybody they could to Texas. And multiples of those players have now dropped that agency because they said that they were going to take X percent and then started taking more of that percent. This is how sleazy these people are. That's how sleazy they are. With that, what I'd say is, guys, work it out. Because the situation is, could you find yourself in a championship level situation if you go and get him? Hurdles are hurdles are hurdles. So be mad, be glad, don't care. I don't care where you sit. The truth of the matter is that you're still working on this. The kid might go somewhere else for all I know. My gut tells me, in my experience, that these things can go in any which way. Have you won in these situations before? And maybe it was not out in the general public? Without a doubt. I personally had to go through one last year that I freaking despised. Put me in a situation that I just did not want to be in. But nevertheless, we were there. And to the old staff, they know this. I know this. Everybody knows this. I said, pay the kid. They're not asking for something that's unreal that you can't do, especially with a $67 million net profit. Get it done. Because, again, you're not going to give two flying Rudy Poos on 3rd and 7, and Sam Levitt's got to connect to Chase Brown on a seam route to advance you in the playoff. And you need a left tackle that can get you there. No one's going to give a flying shit. None of you watch the game and say, man, I wish we would have paid that kid $2.5 million to be here. Y'all don't say that. I don't say that. Don't come in this chat and say, well, Blake, actually, I do. No, you don't. Do I think that LSU is going to fight into the bitter end? Yes. Do they feel good about it? Yes. My gut says to everyone in my audio, I just kind of wash my hands, I guess. I want the kid. But the uncle situation, some of that out there being false, guys, this is how you are really seeing how college football is being run. Is what you're seeing. Oh, we saw the sausage when NIL and the portal came. Yeah, you saw how the sausage was made. Now what you're seeing in some of these instances is what's happening behind the scenes of what agents are doing. Agents. And here's another truth. This isn't on the kid. This isn't on the kid. Can the kid make a decision? Without a shadow of a doubt. But this isn't on the kid. It's on the others because this is not regulated that these things happen. And here's another truth. He is the best offensive lineman in the country. He is the best left tackle in the country. He don't have to wait. He don't have to do anything he doesn't want to right now. This is how a lot of the NFL postseason or offseason works. How long did it take Kawhi Leonard to wait for a deal? How long did it take LeBron? I remember how long it took LeBron. It took LeBron like 90 days. 90 days. These guys don't have to. He doesn't have to make a decision right now. Well, Blake, what about school? He doesn't have to be here for the spring. And I'll tell you this. I think they'd move heaven on earth to get him enrolled. Do I think Billy Glasscock, this is what I'm going to leave you with. Do I think Billy Glasscock and Lane have done everything that they can? Yep. Guys, if you miss out on him, all right, you wash your hands of it. You did everything you could because there's not a single damn thing that I know that they could have done, and I don't know everything. But there's not a single damn thing that they haven't done that I wouldn't have done my damn self to try to land him. Where's he going to go? Do I think that they feel comfortable? Maybe. But if he's being pursued, if he's being pushed in another direction, by all means. But you're your own grown-ass man. And I think that you'll be okay. Either way, you're going to be okay. But there's a lot of what I've heard from this media corps over the last 24 hours, there's been a lot of how do I want to say this? There's been a lot of definite statements. This shit ain't definite. This shit is moving. Like, I'll tell you the conversation I had before I came on here. I was told something an hour and a half ago. It changed within an hour and a half. So I don't know. It's changed. Are you battling? Read between the lines of what I'm saying here. Are you battling your outright ass off? Without a doubt. There's nothing else that I would want from them. Also, speaking of recruiting, so the coaching staff of LSU has been going around to all these different high schools. You know, they came to the North Shore today in the 985. You got a big-time player and offensive lineman in Jalen Haywood, who I think can play here and should play here, and I think he would be a really damn good guard for you here. That kid gets developed. He has got a mean streak in him. He can play. He's going to be able to play. He reminds me a lot of Osiris Torrance, who was at St. Helena. This kid can flat-out play. But Lane Kiffin went into New Orleans today, and you need somebody from New Orleans to go in there and win. He went in there and met with the number one recruit in the country, in my opinion. And the All-American game kind of showed that. He went and met the number one wide receiver in the country today at Brother Martin. When you go and you're Lane Kiffin and you go inside the city of New Orleans and you go after Eastern Royal, you go after Miguel Whitley, you go after Raekwon Williams. He went after all offensive players and stopped by Edna Carr just because he could. You think Bryce Brown's allowing Lane Kiffin to walk off in there if things did not go a certain way so many months ago with Richard Anderson? Bryce Brown ain't dumb. He knows what Lane Kiffin is. He understands what he is, who he is, and what he's about to do here. Bryce Brown is no dummy, not even remotely close. So Lane went and met with the All-Star MVP, the All-American MVP in Eastern Royal. And thumbs up if you remember this conversation that we had yesterday and a couple of days ago. We talked about after the portal, this coaching staff will make a shift. That shift is going to be they're going after high school. Guys, they're not slowing down. They're not remotely close to slowing down. I think what you're getting right now in this coaching staff is a locked-in focus. You're getting a situation where Lane understands that, like, listen, from what we talked about, hey, guys, I'm telling you what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is when you're done with the portal, quote unquote, done with the portal, you're not done, but done with the portal, they're going to start making a massive pursuit for some of these players that they need to make a push for. Lane's first stop was to the number one recruit in the country in Eastern Royal. He is a bona fide dude. A bona fide dude. Eric Wolford went out to Lake Charles. He went to Amite, Louisiana, and is going after two offensive linemen that, quite frankly, in my humble opinion, you can't miss. You just simply can't miss. When you got Wolford going to see Simeon, when you got him going to see Jalen Haywood, I don't think you can miss on those guys because I think you need to build from within, and especially along your offensive line, those are two interior offensive linemen that can play here. The heat is going to continue to be turned up. Let me tell you why this is significant too. What is significant about what you've done in the portal so far is you showed the world, shit, LSU going to spend that money, y'all. You go out and land Jordan Seatin, hypothetically speaking. You go out and land him, and you land Seaton. You get the number one quarterback in Sam Levitt. You get the number one edge in Prince Royal. Mom yelling, as some of you have pointed out, not human yelling. Mom yelling. You're telling the world, shit, Lane got a piggy bank and he's spending that shit. Shit. That is the ripple effect that you have had over the last 3 weeks. See, this coaching staff of old let this Eastern Royal thing happen. They let it happen. Let me just say this. I don't think that's remotely close to being done. In Blake Ruffino's book, I don't think that kid is completely, well, let me not say that because it'll be misconstrued the wrong way. He is committed to the University of Texas. Texas is in an outright dogfight now because daddy's home. And who's daddy? Well, Lane Kiffin. Mega pause. You get what I'm saying. They're about to turn up the heat. They turned it up to about 7. They're about to turn it up to 10. They're not slowing down. Again, this is the most Jay Johnson that you have seen football related. They're not remotely coming close to standing down. Lane made it a point today to go inside the city of New Orleans and do what needed to be done. I don't think Brian Kelly ever went inside the city of New Orleans outside of once. He did to some extent. He let Frank deal with it. Understand what happened today. He went inside the city of New Orleans because everybody told him he had to keep Frank because of it. He's not going to get told no. Y'all keep telling this man that he can't do something, and you're going to get proven to be an idiot, myself included. And he's going to start doing it again. Joe Cox going after Ahmad Hudson. Ole Miss thinks that they can get involved there. They're not going to lose out on some of these guys, man. Lane won't go in the high school ranks. Shit. Maybe at Ole Miss. This is going to be different. Now, last thing when we talk about recruiting before we move on here. You're not done in the portal completely. I don't know if you're going to land outside of Jordan Seatin anybody else from the portal. I just don't know. I've said this a couple times, but as we're ending this show on a Thursday, I want to make this very, very well known, and I need y'all to understand something. They are circling back on every player that is not committed. You have, in my humble opinion, the best scouting staff in the country. It's just my opinion. You have a guy in a role like Petito and Jeff Martin who have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they legitimately have won national championships. Your scouting department has, has 8 total national championship rings in it. 8. So I don't know if you're going to land more. But if you do, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. They're going to circle back. They're going to circle back through high school. That's why you've seen some of this stuff inside the state of Louisiana. You went into Shaw. You did some things in New Orleans already and bringing some kids in here that normally you wouldn't have gotten until, maybe if they hit the portal later on down the road and they won. They were winning somewhere else. You're doing that again, and you're not done there. The level in that high school rank has been notched up to 10. Portal, which was at 15, bringing down a lot. So as you turn that portal knob and recruiting down, that high school portal knob is starting to be turned up to maximum velocity. I think Lane's going to prove a point. And every time y'all tell him that he can't do something, you just simply keep being proved wrong. Eastern Royal is the number one prospect that you must land on. He is that good. As a junior, he beat everybody in an All-American game. He won the MVP. By the way, the 2 best players in that game were from the state of Louisiana. Royal and Lamar Brown. So it is what it is there. All right. We got to get to some super chats here. I forget where we left off. Was it Sea Murder? I think is where Blake, I need that long sleeve shirt. Yeah, merch coming soon. Antonio with a $5 super chat says, Seaton watch is getting tiring, odd behavior. It is. It is. I don't disagree. I do think this is over within 48 hours. I don't think, and let me just say this, because Antonio, I hate doing this in recruiting, because the portal, anything can happen. If it's not mentally, this show will move on, meaning from him. Like, I'm going to move on. I think it's done within 48 hours, if not done by the end of the night, because at some point he needs to enroll somewhere. So guys, literally, he's got to. Like, he's got to. He can't keep holding off too much longer. You come out, you grab him. I'm prepared to say some things that I'm going to regret. Shaquan with a $2 super chat says, when's baseball talk start? Probably within a week, 10 days. Probably within a week to 10 days. John Eads is killing it right now, by the way, over WAFB. Stephen Young with a $5 super chat says, Oxford is likely losing power for the next week from the ice storm, so maybe we can get a break from their incessant post-attacking kids. Calmer, maybe. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. But I hope this all slows down soon. I do. Kizzy Platinum became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you doing that. Royce Pierce with a $20 super chat says, hey, Blake, sorry I've been MIA on here and on Ruffino and Joe show. Been pretty tough with my pops and stuff. Yeah, how's he doing, Royce? Still thinking about you, buddy. He says, been listening to all the episodes, though. Hashtag Go Tigers. Well, Royce is an amazing human being. Royce, you never have to apologize, brother. I hope your dad's doing well. Everybody in the chat, pray for Royce and his dad. They're going through it. So, Royce, love you, man. And he also gifted 5 of y'all AYS sports memberships. So thank y'all so much. I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it, Royce. You're amazing, man. Thank you so much, buddy. So 5 of you are going to be gifted. Whoever's live and doesn't have a membership, YouTube's going to pick at random who gets them. So good luck out there. Tiger Vibes with a $5 super chat says, Blake, beer's on me whenever I get to meet you. Love you, boss. You too, man. I will drink a beer with you. I don't really drink anymore, but I'll have a beer with you. I think maybe the A&M or Florida series will be out and about and at the box. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all there. I hope y'all come to that one. I'll let you know when and where we're going. Ronnie Scott with a $2 super chat says that schedule is going to be a gauntlet. The football schedule, it is a gauntlet. Guys, listen. It is not out of the realm of possibility next year that you go 9-3. It's not out of the realm of possibility at all. What is Sam Levitt's foot? How is your offensive line? Are we just wrong about all of this? I don't think we are. Are we? I mean, we got a long way to go here. But do you have the talent level to get over that gauntlet of a schedule? You might. You very well might. Stephen Young says between the Sterlington, LNG field, and oil, LA is competitive with Texas. Yeah, we're just mismanaged. We're just very and highly mismanaged. This place is not poor, man. I'm telling you. Before COVID, I think Louisiana had a $2 billion surplus. Then COVID happened, and then trying to build it back up. But you're not poor. Mr. Terps with a $5 super chat says, Lane put in more work in the last couple of months than Brian Kelly did in the whole time here. I appreciate the hard work and looking forward to next year. Me too, because he's working his ass off. And they're not done yet. They're about to turn that high school knob up. And listen, let me tell you this right now. If they're not going after a player in Louisiana, they just don't like the prospect. Other than what I feel like happened in the old staff where they try to go after something else because it was the shiny object, and then the old staff rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, man, especially offensively, especially that wide receiver position. Like there's a kid in the ACC that led the ACC in rushing, and you didn't want him. That pisses me off more than anything. Dane Bergeron with a $5 super chat says, Blake, I was told that the holdup with Seaton is his uncle, who is his agent and looking for a payday for himself. Oh, I'm sure he is. He shouldn't be, because his nephew's about to get paid $2 to $2.5 million. He shouldn't be, but I'm not surprised if that is the truth. I mean, is he in the way? Is he going through all this? Yeah. I mean, guys, but I mean, what I really think is people are just finally seeing how the agent sausage is made in college football. The NFL, they have rules, regulations, and agents can't do this and that and this and that and this and that. They've massively enforced tampering. I mean, even though it goes on, but it's just not public knowledge. And it's not as rampant because of contracts. You would be surprised. You'd be surprised. It gets dirtier than this. Taylor with a $10 super chat says, I just got that feeling that he isn't a big spring practice guy. I just got a feeling that he's not a big spring practice guy. Maybe not. So we'll push this commitment back until the last moment. Plus, he has that offseason trainer in Atlanta. I hope he doesn't do that. That would be foolish of him. That'd be foolish. Stephen Young with a $5 super chat says, can we discuss how Lane just offered legacy recruits in LaFell and a die? BK would never. Yeah, that's awesome. That really is awesome. I was told by a director of recruiting at an SEC school this week that JoJo LaFell's son, BJ LaFell, was arguably, so they did a camp. BJ LaFell went there, and the person who is the director of recruiting at another SEC school told me that he was by far the best overall player at that camp as an 8th grader or freshman, whatever it was. He said, and said it was not close. Like if they could have offered him, they would have offered him. Should tell you something. So be on the lookout. Taylor with a $5 super chat says, wasn't Frank on his Louisiana recruiting tour today as well? I don't know. I unfollowed Frank. I'm not sure. I don't follow Frank anymore. Get Gooder with a $2 super chat says hashtag pray for Royce. Absolutely. They're going through it, and I hate it for Royce because Royce is a great person. Rodney Scott with a $5 super chat says, oh, what Kiffin don't need Frank in New Orleans no more. No, because listen, if whatever Lane did in that meeting with Bryce Brown, it was over. It was over. And Lane got a squad with him when he goes. He got a squad with him. He rolling in there 12 deep. Brothers, they're shutting the schools down. Oh, good God. They're shutting schools down. Not really, but you get what I mean. Will Moore with a $2 super chat says, ready to listen to all of the baseball coverage. I'm ready to get into it. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to talk about it. It's going to be really fun. It really, really is. All right. News probably next 24 hours. We'll continue to monitor. See y'all then. Peace.